walking to your dormitory when, like, out of the shadows of one of these like larger buildings steps like a young man. He looks a little bit haggard. He's got like blonde hair. He looks really tired. And he stops in front of you and he's like, "You're here. I need your help." Hi. You don't know who I am, do you? You never know who I am. Oh, I hate this so much. My name is Amir Conway. I know all of you and who you are and what you do. I need your help because if I don't fix this curse, I think I'm gonna go crazy. I was cursed. I've told this story so many times. Can we go back to your room, please? He starts walking.
He looks really tired.
Like,
I guess he's going.
He starts walking.
Well, first of all, how tall is he?
He's probably around like 5'9".
Okay. Is he a student?
He's wearing one of the Academy pins, which you've all received.
Okay.
His pin marks him as probably a second-year student.
Okay.
So
we're safe. There's
all right. I just get
he starts
nervous,
walking.
You know, I'm not used to strange people.
Towards your dorm, like walks in the door, and by the time you catch up with him, he's standing in front of your door.
Okay.
He runs ahead of us then?
Well, he just he's like power walking. Like he wants to get this done very quickly.
All right.
He wants to talk to us.
And he's standing in front of the door and looking at us.
He's standing in front of the door waiting for you to open like your dorm room, basically.
Well, we're all together.
Yeah, we're all
I think
together.
we should let him in.
Okay.
And there is a security guard at the door.
Yeah.
And he seems to recognize him.
Yeah, I think we need to help him.
So he wants to detect magic.
Oh, sure. So you detect magic on him. You kind of like, you scrutinize him a little bit and you realize that there's like there's some sort of like enchantment on him. When he said curse, you're like, ooh, that might be what it is. It's some sort of weird, like you're kind of like looking, and as you kind of look, the kind of strands of magic that are around him kind of like become a little more clear, and it looks like there's some like time thing with him. Time. Like he's frozen in time, or he's outside of time. Like
Traveling
you're just
through
like there's
time.
time. Like you're almost like listening, and you can hear, like you're a bard. You hear like the hum of magic, and you can kind of like figure out those things on your own. And you're like, so it sounds like he's singing around, like a song with a round, or like it just keeps starting over and over and over again. That's the kind of like magic that you're hearing on him, sort of. So he's like kind of impatiently waiting for you to open the door. I assume you open the door for him. And he walks in and kind of like sits down on the couch as if he's been here a dozen times before. And then like sits up a little bit and is like, okay, I was out in the woods and I ran afoul of some sort of witch, I guess. I don't really know what she was. She was wearing a robe and she had gnarled fingers and a crackly voice, and I was looking for something. I needed ingredients for alchemy, and I needed to go find them on my own, and I apparently picked some of her herbs, and she got very angry at me and she cursed me. He kind of like, I've been repeating this day for what feels like weeks.
Oh, okay.
And in all of my repetitions, you four are the only ones who can actually help me. I've tried every other possible way, but coming to you first thing seems to be the only thing that can help me. She needs me to find these 5 items and bring them back to her to remove the curse. So he needs a book from the restricted section of the library. It's bound in like dark brown leather, but it has pieces of stone, clay, and iron on it. He says, I've never been able to get into the restricted area. Never mind, look for it in there. there's a control rod that he needs. There's
What is a control rod?
he says I have no idea.
Okay.
He needs ritual herbs.
Ritual?
Ritual, like
Ritual.
herbs to use in a ritual.
Okay.
He needs something called a heartstone, and he needs like tools for scribing runes on things.
I wonder, it's a little bit ominous though, isn't it? Like, what are they going to use them for? Like, what if they've got, I don't know,
Why do
I
they
grew,
need them?
I grew up around tricksy people, so I'm always a little bit leery of who might be trying to trick us into giving them something that they, especially since these things are all off limits,
Yes,
right?
yes, we're not supposed to go into that.
Like, how do we know that we can trust you?
I'm gonna say, we're first year, like, we don't have a lot of knowledge.
I know that you have an aunt that taught you everything you know.
Oh.
I know that you were adopted as a child by a family that taught you how to fish.
Wow.
I know that you have a book that you're trying to keep safe from someone, somewhere. And I know that you don't know where you came from, but all you have are earrings and a mirror to tell you where you came from.
Wow.
Okay.
He knows about us, but we don't know about him.
I know.
This
yeah.
is the first time that you're meeting me, but I've met you dozens of times.
Ooh.
Okay.
Like I said, you're the only ones who have ever gotten further than me in this. And I'll probably have to do it over again, but at least I'm getting better at talking to you.
He could be,
Wow.
he could have shapeshifted and it's not a.
An illusion?
See, you're so knowledgeable.
I know.
Your detect magic didn't pick up on any illusions.
That's true.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, guys, I guess we don't. I mean, I guess we do have a choice. I mean, we could say no, but he's probably just going to keep coming back, and he knows where we live. So, let me ask you this: have we ever asked the professors to help us? Like, have we ever just let them know? It's like, why not just go to the people that
I've asked them before, and they've all said no. These things are apparently powerfully magic or something, and it's dangerous when they're together, I guess. I don't understand. At this point, I'm willing to do almost anything to just get me away from here.
All right. Well, I don't know, guys. I feel like we should give it a try.
Okay.
Where do we usually start? Or what's been the most successful place for us to start?
Well, we've tried the herbarium.
The herbarium?
Yeah,
They grow the plants.
Yes, the herbs.
Oh,
the,
what about
or the
the
artifice
library?
workshop. Usually someone in the
Well, the
workshop right
ritual
now. So.
herbs we need to get.
I'd like to go maybe try to get, go to the herbarium and
Try to find these
Good
herbs.
place.
see if we
honey.
can find these herbs.
Yeah.
Do you know which type of herbs or?
They gave me a list, and he kind of fumbles in his pocket and pulls out like a piece of paper and hands it over to you. You can roll a nature check if you wanna.
Yes, I would like to know what they are.
Yep.
So, am I rolling?
Yep.
With the 20 die?
Yep.
18.
You're rolling like crazy.
She is.
So you look at it and you're like, okay. And at first you're like, this is, I don't recognize any of these. But you realize they're using like more archaic like names for these herbs than like the more like kind of technical like scientific term that you kind of know more as like being someone who works with like these things a lot. You know like the things where to go. Amir kind of like leads the way towards the herbarium, which is just like, it's like a big circular greenhouse that there's one door, like a double door kind of in the front. It's locked, so you can't
Oh, we
just
gotta
walk
find
in.
another way out. Oh, I have probably lockpicks or something, right?
Yeah, you have thieves' tools, I think.
I have thieves' tools. All right. So I try to use my thieves' tools.
Okay, so you're gonna make a dexterity check with proficiency.
Okay. It's Come on, dice. I know.
Good luck.
I know. We've had some trouble today. So I really need you on my side. Come on. 10. Okay.
Good.
And then my proficiency
Over.
is in what?
So it's a dexterity
Yep.
check. So you're adding your dexterity
Plus
and then
three.
plus 2. So total plus 5.
Oh, so
Right.
15.
15.
Great.
So it's a little bit tricky and like the light's kind of dark, so you're having a little bit of trouble.
Uh-huh.
But you manage to like pop open the latch.
Okay.
You think you're up, like it's a little bit touchy for a minute, and then you pop it open and you're like,
Yes.
okay, good, I did it.
Go in there.
So I
Good.
need you to make another nature check to locate these herbs.
So I'm rolling dex. A nature check to,
To find where the herbs are.
okay. 16?
Very good. So you kind of you start like wandering around looking for these things. You basically identify they're like, okay, all of like the pungent herbs are over here, and I'm probably gonna find them over here. You start kind of looking, and you've identified there's like 3 different herbs you need to find. You identify them, and you're like, okay, I'm ready to do this now. I need another nature check to safely collect them without destroying them. Everyone else,
Mm-hmm.
you hear like a little crackling sound, kind of similar to what you heard during
Yes.
the opening banquet.
Oh,
And you see that the brazier is kind of flared up a little bit,
Oh.
and there's now a little fire elemental kind of floating there. It's looking at you all kind of curiously, like just kind of like tilting its head. It like hops out and kind of flits over to where you guys are standing, because you're kind of standing a little bit away, and like it says something in that kind of like crackly sound. You recognize it.
And I can interpret.
Yeah. So it asks like what are you doing here? Not in like a like what are you doing here, but more like a oh like what are you doing here?
Oh, well, we are.
Are you looking for something?
We are.
What are you looking for?
Herbs.
What kind of herbs? There's a lot of herbs here.
Well, is there something specific to rituals?
Yes.
Oh, that's so fabulous. That's what we're looking for. Could you help us?
So he kind of flits over, and he actually flits over to where you are. And like kind of it's the elementals are kind of like they're like kind of vaguely humanoid shaped, but they don't really have legs. They kind of just have like their element kind of trails off. So they kind of look a little bit like very small like genies. You can kind of imagine that. They don't really have like faces, or they just have like a vague humanoid shape. And like this little creature like points to the herbs that you're like right now getting ready to collect, and says, "Here. Most of them are here.
Okay.
I can go get Earth Caller if you
Who?
Earth Caller.
Oh wait, I can't understand. What is he saying?
I don't know what an earth
Earth
caller is. but
caller?
He called it an earth caller,
An earth caller.
I believe.
Oh, I no, thank you.
Yeah.
Is it a caller? Like,
He's
No,
Call.
no,
Yeah.
no, no, no,
No, no,
no,
call
no,
her.
no. Tell him no. Tell him no.
No.
No, thank you.
No,
We're good.
thank you.
Okay.
Our friend, tell him our friend has a tummy ache, and we're just making some tea.
We have a friend with a tummy ache, and we're just making some tea.
Earth Caller does that all the time.
Who's?
Who is Earth Caller?
He's big,
How big?
Big.
He's the
really big.
Oh my goodness.
He's as big as my big brother, who's really big.
Do we need a name? Should we
No,
ask the name?
it's the orc.
Oh,
that
the
must be what he
orc.
calls the orc.
He brought us with us from far away.
Okay.
He brought us here to this place.
So we don't want.
My job is to make sure that no dangerous people come into this place.
We're not dangerous.
We're students.
We just little bitty people, except for
We're
our
actually-
safer.
The least dangerous of the students.
I guess I'm continuing to interpret.
Yeah, you can translate it.
Yeah.
So, Mom, I need another nature check.
A nature check, okay, so 4.
Can you make a persuasion check, actually?
I was waiting for
A
that.
persuasion check,
Right
so
here.
I have to through
did you
my.
roll up?
A 4.
Okay.
Oh, you wanna
Okay,
persuade
so
the guy
4
that we're fine?
3 is 7. You're a little distracted by what's going on, and you try to collect the first herb, and you kind of mess it up a little bit. So you're gonna need some help on that. Well, let's see what happens here.
So I rolled a 9 plus 3.
Okay. So that's totally fine.
Yes.
So the little elemental seems to kind of take a shine to you, and it looks over to where Marigold is struggling to kind of get these herbs. You're like, this is my mentor would be so angry at me if he saw me butcher this plant. This is the worst. This is terrible. And the little elemental says, kind of turns to you and says something. You translate it as, do you need help?
Do you need help? Do you need help, Marigold?
I'm sorry to say that I think I do. I'm just having a very hard time.
Can you help
So
us?
he kind of kind of flutters over, and the light from its body actually gives you a lot more of a view. So you can re-roll again, and I'm going to give you advantage. So you're going to roll twice and take a higher number of equal.
Oh. 7. And 2.
Okay, so you collect some of the herbs, but not a lot of them. The little elemental seems a little bit angry, and he's like, "Oh, Earthcaller's not gonna like how messy this is. Maybe I should go get him and tell him to clean it up."
No.
How can we clean it? We can clean it up.
We'll clean it up. How can we clean it up? Can you guide us?
Can you grow them again? Earthcaller grows things.
Hey, Marigold, you got anything for that?
Let's see.
Do I have anything to know?
I can make sparkles
Oh,
happen.
wait a minute. Wait. I do have something maybe that would be helpful.
Oh, what do you have?
My jewel craft. I can instantly make a flower blossom or a plant grow.
There you go.
So I think we should do that.
Okay. So you cast it. How are you casting the spell? What kind of? How do you use your magic?
How do I use my magic?
Do you chant things? Do you wave your arms in a certain way? Do you?
I kind of I wave my arms, I guess.
Okay. So you start using your druidic magic, and you feel this is a very powerfully nature-filled place, and you kind of channel that power into the soil, and you regrow these herbs. But someone looking at it casually wouldn't even notice that anything's wrong.
That's good.
What do you guys think? Do you think we should get Eileen in on this? Have we ever gotten Eileen on this to help us?
Can we do that?
Do you think she might help us?
He kind of thinks about it for a minute. He's like, actually, no.
That's never happened before?
It's never happened before, but that might be helpful.
Because, maybe if you explain the situation to her, you can win her over with your incredible charm the way that you did with us.
Plus her parents annoy her so much, she might be happy to.
Well, she
Right,
might
she
also
might be-
know the ins and outs of
Of
the
both her
temple, and
parents,
she
yes.
might know where the
yeah.
Hearthstone
I
is.
think
She
that's
might be a wealth of information.
That's right.
I think we
she
should
could
find
be.
her.
She probably grew up around
Yeah,
here.
she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, she grew up here.
Let's go recruit her. Guys, why don't we just knock on the door and see if Eileen's home.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
sounds good.
Okay, Marigold, you're tallest. Go ahead.
Okay.
So you go and you knock on kind of their front door, which is kind of the back door. It's behind the temple, and a 7-year-old boy answers the door. He's got
He's gonna be a problem.
he's clutching a
7-year-old
like
boys.
a stuffed dragon in one hand, and he kind of looks up at you guys, and he's like, "Who are you?"
And I'm eye level with the kid.
Yeah. Yeah. He's probably about 3 feet tall.
We're friends
Yeah.
of Eileen.
And I'm like, hey.
Are you Eileen's brother?
Yeah, are you Eileen's brother? Or is she home? Can we?
I'm Davin.
Hi, Davin. I'm Unara, and these are my friends. And
Hi, I have a dragon.
I see your dragon is
Yes.
so awesome. Yeah, are you playing with it?
I'm gonna be a dragon rider when I grow up.
Oh yes, I can see you're
A
gonna
dragon.
A dragon
be
rider.
really
A
good.
dragon
I'm gonna
rider.
ride dragons.
Right,
Amazing.
dragon.
And gestures with his dragon.
Okay.
What are you guys doing here?
Oh, we're looking for Eileen. We're friends of hers. Is she home?
You're friends with Lily?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you want me to get her?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
He runs off yelling, Lily!
Oh.
Your friends are here, but not the friends that are usually here. After like a moment, because he left the door wide open.
Of course.
You actually see Adelis like kind of walk by, and like she looks over, and then she kind of comes over. She's like, can I help you? What?
Oh,
Did someone just leave the door open?
Your son, I assume he's your son. We're just
which
looking
one?
for Eileen.
Devin.
There's more than one?
Yes, I have 3.
You have 3 children.
And
sons.
two daughters.
Are they?
Oh, my. 5
wow.
children.
A lot of kids.
Davin comes running back up to you guys. And he's like, I got Lily. And then Eileen
Thanks,
like
buddy.
shows up. She's like kind of pulling on like a sweater. And like she kind of looks and she's like, oh, I didn't expect it to be you guys.
Mm.
Usually my friends drag me out of here. And her mother's like, yes, they usually do.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh.
stay out too late.
Yeah. Come on out. Yeah. Come out with us.
What are we doing?
Okay.
What's up?
Well, yeah.
Right.
So I think we need your help. Do you guys want to explain
With
it?
what?
We're kind of on a mission
What mission?
to help someone. He's over there.
Amir kind of waves. And she's like, oh, hey, Amir.
Oh,
He's
she
like,
knows him.
Hi. She's like, oh, like, have you been getting enough sleep? And he's like, no. No, I haven't.
So you know Amir. How do you know him?
Well, he's his second-year student.
Oh,
And he,
okay.
you know, he does some alchemy with my dad, so.
Well,
He kind of has a dilemma. And we're trying to help him locate some items, and we thought perhaps you could join us, and you have knowledge of some areas that might contain.
Is this a heist?
yeah, it's kind of a heist.
Sort
I am so in!
Yay! We knew we could count on you.
And it sort of
Anything.
involves your parents.
Well, at least something they
Even
might
better.
have.
What are we
yeah.
taking from them?
I like your enthusiasm.
Yes, this is
We're
wonderful.
looking- we need to find the Heartstone.
And the tools. Some tools that are in your
She thinks
dad's
about it
lab.
for a second. Well, my mom usually keeps the heartstones in the vault.
Yes.
Right.
So we gotta get into the vault then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that hard to do?
How do we get
Is
there?
it hard for you to do?
Well, it's not really hard to find. It's a little bit hard to get into.
Okay.
There's locked and there's a trap there. But once you get inside, it's big. It's pretty big.
Okay.
It's bigger than
stone
you
is
think.
Big, or the
vault.
The vault is big.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just there's a lot of stuff in there. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
So what do we need to do first?
Well, we need to get to where the vault is, which means we need to go through not the house, the temple. And it's behind the temple, sort of, and under it. You gotta go down the stairs. Okay, so she leads you guys around to the front of the temple. She actually pulls a key out and unlocks the temple door
Oh.
and
Wow, that
gestures
was-
for you guys to go in and
helpful.
closes it and locks it behind her.
As they always do.
Cool.
And it leads to like basically a stairway that down. It's kind of like a spiral staircase down.
Is it well lit?
Yeah, there's torches. They actually there's like torches that kind of come on as you guys are walking down,
Oh.
and they like go out as you like pass by them. So the light is kind of following you down.
Okay.
So you walk
As
down.
we're walking, I want to see what else she knows. Is the guy with us?
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to whisper to Eileen. Just gonna be really hard because I'm on her knees.
She's used to talking to short people. It's fine.
So I'm just gonna try to like talk to her and ask what does she know about this guy? Like, can we trust him? Like, we're a little bit worried that.
Who is
Yeah,
this?
he kind of takes shortcuts sometimes, but he's not a bad guy.
He's not a bad guy.
No.
Could he? Is he dumb? Because could he be used by somebody
I
else?
wouldn't say he's dumb, but he's kind of. He can be a little bit.
Naive?
He has temper on him sometimes.
Oh.
So it tends to get him in trouble.
Okay, but he's not
Okay.
like easily like manipulated.
He's trustworthy.
No, I don't think he's like that. I mean,
Okay.
at least from what I know of him.
All right.
He's not malicious. He's
No,
fairly
he's not like an
trustworthy.
evil guy or
Okay.
anything like that. He's
Okay.
just.
All right.
He has a bit of a temper,
I just thought
he
we
tends
should.
to-
I just thought we should ask.
He's like impatient. I mean, there's a lot of us who are impatient.
Okay. Okay. Because we're walking.
So we're.
So you walk downstairs and the stairway lets you out in front of a large, like iron door that's like clearly like a vault door. You can see that it has like a 3 keyholes basically and like a big like kind of thing to turn. And Eileen is kind of like it's trapped. So.
Okay.
I can show you where the trap is. It's just like a little acid trap, but
Acid trap.
yeah,
Cool.
Little.
just sprays acid in your face.
Oh, that's all. Okay. Does anyone have healing in case this doesn't go?
I
can
protect you
do
from
one.
evil and good.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I can try to disarm it.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you rolled the wrong die.
15.
It's better.
There you go.
Plus-
You disable the trap, or at least you think you do. So you still need to unlock the door.
Okay. So I'm gonna roll again.
Yep.
3.
Oh, real 3 this time.
Yeah.
You do not manage to spring the lock.
Okay.
Do you want me to help you?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not really good with these things, but I'll try. So she kind of like gets down next to you. Like you can stand, but she has to kind of crouch down to like see the holes. And she basically, the two of you start coordinating what you're doing.
Okay.
So you can roll again. You're gonna roll with advantage though.
Okay.
So you're gonna roll that twice and take the higher.
10.
9.
Ten's enough.
Okay.
It's
Is
because you have
it
a
on my
plus 5.
dexterity?
Yeah,
Plus 5.
You have
So
a plus 5, so
so
that's
it's
15. That's a DC for it. So the two of you working together, like you end up with like, you've got half of your tools in like the 2 locks on the side, and then both of your tools, like you've got one of each, and you're kind of like going across each other, and you end up kind of like this, but then you hear a click, and the vault, like the thing spins,
Okay.
and it's just like it's open.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, thanks for your help, Eileen.
Yeah.
I really don't know what happened there. Excuse me.
Honestly, I don't either. So she starts collecting her things. So you walk in, and immediately, like, more of these torches kind of flare to life. And they keep flaring because this room is enormous. It's almost it's definitely bigger than you expected. It's like, probably like 10,000 square feet. It's huge. It's enormous. And it is filled with stuff.
Ay,
Boy. Like stuff in drawers, or are we talking drawers?
It's
or
so
piles?
there are
or
like chests of drawers. There are piles of things.
things?
I will
A
say
little of
that
everything.
yeah, you guys, it's clear that things are kind of organized, but you're not really sure of the organization of it. And even just looking around, you're like, where do we even start?
So there's no categories.
There might be.
There might be, but it's unclear what
obvious.
they are.
Okay.
Actually, so who has the lowest dexterity?
I think me. What's dexterity? under?
14.
I'm a 15.
The
Is that what
second
my
one down.
dexterity is?
Yeah, I'm an 8.
Okay, so as everyone's walking in, you're kind of the last one to
Yeah.
come in, and you stumble a little bit, and you kick over like a neatly stacked pile of coins, like they're all just kind of stacked up,
Okay.
and you like kind of stumble and like hit the wall, and your foot kicks it, and they go scattering across the floor.
and you're like, oh crap. And then you hear like a almost like a ticking sound, like a tick, and then a tick, tick, tick.
Like getting louder?
Well, yeah, and then a small, like low to the ground beetle made of like clockwork and brass, scuttles out from like a low, like kind of hole in the wall, and comes over and starts like picking up the coins and restacking them right where they went,
Wow.
and like
I can
restacks
so
them.
visualize
Yeah,
everything you
I
said.
know. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And as soon as it's done, it like kind of does like a little like kind of scan around the room and then scuttles back into its little hole.
Oh.
Wow.
Can we try to communicate
Can I,
with
yeah,
it?
can I
Does
say
it,
something to
is
it?
it have intelligence?
Oh,
Is it an animal though, or is it
Is it
a?
an animal?
So
It's a tinkering kind of a thing.
it's like an automaton.
Yeah.
So it's
So
not
it's
actually
not
alive.
sure, yeah.
Right.
It's like it's probably like kind of programmed to do something. And Eileen actually says like you can't really talk to them. They're just we've got some in the house. My dad likes to tinker, as you can probably tell. These are his.
Is it something she has with her on the regular?
No, that's a. I mean, she's used them before to like trap like dangerous creatures in them.
Oh right, I forgot that part of it.
And like you can use them to like animate things if you like attach them the right way. Like you could animate like a piece of armor to like, you know, defend you if you attach it to the chest, but I don't know how to do that. That's like
Yeah.
high level artificer stuff that I'm just not.
Okay.
So it could be absolutely anywhere. How are we going to determine? Anyone? What you got?
Arcana, would
Anybody?
Arcana be?
You could roll an Arcana. You could roll perception or investigation.
Oh, investigation.
Arcana, I have advantage on. Do you want to roll, Sheila? Do you have Arcana?
Where is that?
Arcana
is an
under
intelligence
your-
Under
skill.
intelligence.
Oh,
I have
okay.
Arcana.
Oh, I have Arcana +5. 16 +5. Is
Oh,
that
she's
what it
got
is?
a higher Arcana.
Oh, yes, I
than me.
think you should do
Yeah,
that.
you should do it.
Definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so.
So you're gonna take your die, the 20-sided. Yep.
Okay. And I
It's pretty good.
get 18? 19.
19
plus
plus
five.
24.
Yeah.
Well,
But
so
you roll
I'm
it.
so glad I have
you kind of start like walking around and like kind of looking at things, and as you're like kind of looking at it, as a wizard, you kind of automatically start categorizing things. Like your whole like life is basically run by the schools of magic, and you're like, like I'm good with categories. I know this kind of stuff. Like I know how magic fits into categories. I'm pretty sure all of this stuff is categorized by like shape and color and size and things like that. And there's a potential that like these little magical automaton things probably know where everything is.
Okay.
And part of their job is probably organizing it into places.
Right.
So there's a chance that you could like give them something and watch where it goes.
Oh.
And maybe that might.
Okay, does anybody have anything? Do any of us have anything that is heart-shaped?
Well, it's not shaped like a heart. It's just a gem. It's a green gem.
So in
Oh, well, I have emerald earrings.
Ooh.
So I think maybe if I give one of the earrings to this little
Good idea.
he may try to put that with the emerald,
The heartstone.
hotstone.
Okay. So you take off your earring, and you. What are you doing with it? How are you like
communicate
presenting
with
it?
the critter?
Well, I can't really talk to this.
She's gonna put it in a clear space where it shouldn't be.
Yes,
I think
we need to
I'm
call
gonna
it
take it
out,
off
though.
and just put it on the floor.
Okay.
Okay.
And I think it's gonna attract one of these
Right.
and bring it back to the top.
All right. So you put it down on the floor, and again you hear that like. And another one of these little, from a different area of the room, another one of these little like beetles comes scuttling over, and it like looks at what you've dropped there, looks at the emerald earring, and it like picks it up with like these two little like pincer things, and it starts scuttling away. And then you get into an area, it takes it into like a place where there's like gems, there's like gemstones kind of stacked up and put into like baskets. And then it takes like a sharp left turn, and you recognize this now as a place where like magical gemstones might be stored. And it scuttles up to like one of the lower shelves, and it like sets the earring down like in like a free space, and you see that there are several other like large emerald colored gems there. You spot the heartstone.
Okay,
What
great.
you recognize as it, like you spot the cut. It's the biggest one there.
Good job, everybody.
Good job.
And you can pick up your earring again.
And we take the hot stone.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Great.
So I think you've been super helpful. Now you've got to
Really?
help us.
Oh, good. I'm glad you think so.
And now
Um,
about your father.
Yeah.
My father?
So, yes, we need to get into his lab. I was going to
Okay.
disguise myself as one of his, I was thinking I would disguise myself as one of his teacher's assistants or whatever those things are called, so that I could, I don't know if he's got wards on the place or whatever, but to try to get in. Do you know anything about his lab that might be helpful?
Well, so it's not really like locked or anything like that. It is, but all of the TAs have keys, and usually if someone's working in there, I have a key to it too.
Oh,
So,
great.
I can get us in there.
Perfect.
But I don't know if anyone's working there.
Oh, I see.
So
Oh,
there could be
I could
somebody
disguise
there.
myself as your dad, though.
You could, I guess. That would work.
And that
How
way,
good are you at talking about artifice?
I'm a first year student. so-
Okay, I guess if I'm there with you, it might be more legitimate.
yeah.
That's true.
That makes more sense.
Okay, well then I guess the rest of you are gonna have to
Wait outside,
Sure.
right? Or
Well,
just watch.
Do that.
depends on what you're gonna do. Are we just gonna walk in and take the things and be like, see you later?
Pretty much. That was my plan.
That might actually work.
Meet
That
us
might work.
today,
All right,
Sheila.
let's go. She
But you
she
guys-
leads you out
all
of
right.
the temple and
Oh.
locks up everything behind.
That's the advantage of having you with us.
Right.
I am pretty awesome.
You are.
Yes, you are.
So she leads you guys over to the arcade building and down into the basement, and she comes up to the the door into the artificers section, and she kind of she peeks in because you're too short to see the window, but she kind of peeks in. She's like,
What's wrong?
Their father's there.
no,
No.
Jordan's in there.
Oh, the talkative.
Jordan, the talkative
yeah.
one.
Oh, okay. So this is what maybe we could do. So I'll disguise myself as your dad, and we'll go in there. Can we send him on a mission to go do something? Tell him that I really need something right away, and then send him away.
We could send her over to the storeroom maybe.
Okay.
They usually have all kinds of stuff in there that
Okay.
we could have
Let's-
him look for something.
Let's make something up,
Okay.
and that way he's looking for a
And
really long time.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
because it's not there.
Because
Something
it's not
that's not
Okay.
there.
I like this.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
So what shall we tell him that we're looking that he needs to retrieve for us? What's something that would be in the storeroom, but that wouldn't be in the storeroom? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something that could be, but isn't.
Right. So let's
That he
see.
will think is in
It's
there.
tinkery stuff, and it's
Yeah.
I know alchemy stuff, right?
Yeah.
Any ideas, guys?
Let's see.
Like a certain kind of tool or something,
Maybe.
or a supply.
Maybe. Paste.
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 All right, but some kind of really rare
Yeah.
paste.
Yes.
Sovereign glue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I-
that works.
Sometimes we have it in there, but usually we don't. So
Usually you don't.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
But I'm gonna insist that it's in there.
Yeah.
And don't come back empty-handed. Is
Yeah.
that something your dad would say?
Yeah.
All right.
actually.
Okay. Okay. Good. All right. Then we have a plan.
Okay.
All right. So you guys have to be on the lookout,
Okay.
Okay, so
Right.
we're waiting and we'll.
just in case her dad comes back.
Oh,
right?
yes,
And
right.
in case her
And
dad
then,
shows
because
up.
then we can entertain him.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Ask him
Stall him.
questions.
Stall him, ask
Yeah.
him questions.
Oh, you know what? If he comes, then you should send him to the storeroom because you could see you heard noises in there, and then he can go in there, and then the TA can get in trouble. It's perfect. Let's do it.
to herself. She's like, "This is gonna be so much fun."
All right, perfect. All right.
Okay.
We all
good
know
luck.
our roles?
Yep.
All right.
Yep, we're outside.
Oh, I got to disguise
You have to
self.
disguise yourself.
It's just an action.
Yeah, so you cast a spell.
Okay, so I go.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
Oh, no, actually, no, I would not do that. You know what I would do?
Bake some.
You
I
would
would-
eat something.
Take something out of my pocket,
And eat
and it would be like a cookie of many different colors. And almost looks like it's emitting some kind of like rainbow like light from it. All right, so this is my disguise myself cookie,
Okay.
so I'm gonna eat it.
So you don't feel much different,
No, yeah.
but like part of the illusion is that like you're seeing things from like the point of view where
Ball
okay.
size? Oh,
Yeah.
I love being tall. For
So
a
like
minute.
so like you yourself haven't really changed, but like you have the vision of like I'm a taller person now. And Eileen's like, that's a pretty good disguise. All right, okay,
All right, here we go.
all right, let's go. And she like pushes open the door, and you guys walk in. Jordan, the TA, is kind of standing with his back to you at like one of these like kind of lab tables. He doesn't actually seem to notice you guys. So what are you?
Oh, good. You're here.
He kind of like jumps and like turns around and he's like, "Oh, Professor.
Yeah.
I just thought I would come in here and work on something. Well, there was no one else here for me to bother."
All right. We can talk about this more later. But I'm glad that you're here because I need you to go and get
Sovereign glue, Dad.
Oh,
Sovereign glue.
Thanks, darling. So I need you to go and get some Sovereign glue, and I don't want you to, sometimes the teacher's aides, they go and look in that closet and they say they can't find it. You are not to come back here without the glue that I'm looking for. So, go over there and do that for me, and make sure that you find it. It's in a blue bottle and it's probably up high on a shelf, but we really need it like right away.
I want you to roll a deception check.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh Lord
Oh,
God.
heavens.
What would you roll?
3.
+2. That's okay because he rolled a 5
Oh.
and he's at a -1.
Oh.
So-
So it was not really a good.
It wasn't a
Deception.
great like. You didn't really sound too much like he talks, but this guy didn't even notice that. And he's just like, blue bottle, top shelf.
Yeah.
All right, I will come back as soon as possible.
Okay, thanks.
And he starts running, power walking kind of towards the door of the classroom. Yeah. And she starts pulling down like a couple of tools and then grabs like a leather like file and starts like kind of filing them away.
Okay.
She comes away with probably 10 or so tools.
Okay.
But she kind of rolls it up and ties it and then hands it to you.
All right, guys, let's
Yeah.
get out of here, Eileen. Great job. Thank you.
Thanks, Eileen.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. I think we should go to the library.
Oh, I'm still disguised. I think it ranges it lasts for an hour.
Oh,
So I can
yeah.
stay disguised as the professor.
Yeah, you
right?
could. So you walk to the library. It's still open, and as you kind of walk in, the library is pretty empty except for Professor Trickfoot, who's sitting behind kind of the main library desk, furiously taking notes about something.
Okay.
And she kind of looks up and she's like, "Oh hey,
Hey.
so did you give any thought to my proposal?"
Oh, I haven't had a chance to really get my thoughts down. I gave it a
That's what everyone says.
yeah, but I will. I've got a little bit of time this weekend, and so
All right.
I promise that.
Okay, good, because I gotta make a decision now. Well,
Right.
not now, but in the general now. So
Right.
probably before the end of the weekend. But I mean, it'll probably be. I hope it'll be fine. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure that it's gonna be just fine. So we're just gonna go grab something. I'll be right back, and we can talk more. Maybe on Lie Day.
All right.
No, on Call Day. Call Day.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Okay. Come Come on.
She like hits a button and you hear like the lock click open on like this like kind of hallway. The door opens and you see like it's probably like a 60-foot hallway. Well, you guys walking down the hallway?
Check. Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay. You walk down the hallway and you come out of the restricted hallway into the library again.
Oh, no.
As soon as because we're not. It's got something.
You walk all the way to the end of the door.
Oh, no.
You open it and you're back out in the library.
Oh, so we need some kind of spell or...
Professor Trickfoot doesn't seem to notice.
No,
Oh,
she's.
jeez.
We'll just keep quiet.
She's
Okay.
distractible.
All right, what do we got, guys? How can we
Why,
get in?
why would that happen? Why?
Because it's some kind of magical spell.
Like
or
it
you
knows.
can't see
Like
anything.
my illusion only goes so far as what people can see. So there's some kind of a ward on the library that won't allow students
Yeah.
into that restricted section.
Oh, so we can
it's
detect.
magically detected. Yeah. All right. So our choices are: we can do a perception to see if there's anything you can learn about what's in the hallway. We can throw your voice to get this girl to go, but there's nothing. I don't know if it would compel her to go to
It wouldn't compel her.
Yeah.
But
we can.
Would-
I can try to ask her with persuasion to help me find it, locate it.
Well, you're very good at persuasion.
So, all right. So we're in agreement. I'm gonna try to see if she can. So I'm just gonna call to her and
Okay.
say, oh, Professor Trickfoot, I can't wait to talk to you on call day about your proposal. But I'm trying to find a book. I'm not quite able to find it. You know this library better than I
oh,
do.
like the back of my hand.
Oh, fantastic! So
great.
I am looking for a bound leather book that has gems and some iron and different kinds of metals in it. Would you be able to help me find that?
She like thinks about it. Oh wait, I do know which one that is.
You do.
Yeah, it's it's Herman's Guide to Gollum Building.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Great.
Where can you take me to it?
Yeah, sure. She starts walking down the hall, and about halfway there, she goes Flipperty Gibble, and you continue walking. It doesn't seem like anything's happened, but she opens the door, and you're in a completely different room.
Ah.
So the book is locked on the shelf.
Oh, no.
Locked in what way?
It's like
Magically locked?
it's like chained to the shelf.
Okay.
All of the books are. It looks like they're basically there for like your protection.
Oh.
Like you can't just like grab a book and leave. You've got to like unlock it. And...
I can use.
Did you lose your keys again?
I did. I'm sorry. I didn't lose them, but I think that I left them back at my office.
You're always losing things. You're so absent-minded.
I really am. I am the absent-minded
She
professor.
drags over like a like half-sized library ladder and like climbs up on it and takes out a giant ring of keys and is like, like test it. Nope, not that one.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Not that one.
Both
And
times a ticket.
it takes her about 10 minutes to find the right key.
Right.
The whole time you're like, oh god, this is gonna fail. Like what is happening? And she unlocks it and like pulls they're like kind of small silver chains. They look like they could be pretty easily like broken, but there's probably some sort of enchantment on them to keep them like solid. And she pulls down the book, which is like pretty big in her arms,
Oh, fab.
and like hands it over to you.
Oh.
Maybe we could ask the professor if she minds carrying it to the...
Okay, so I'm gonna
Front of
say,
the-
I hurt my back, and that's such a big book. I hate to ask this of you, but would you mind bringing this out to me for me?
Since none of the students can
Since the
touch it.
students can't.
I want you to roll persuasion now. Because you've been pretty good at like spinning it in a certain way, but now she's like, wait a second, none of this makes sense.
Don't stop me now. 19!
Show him the I'll carry it.
So you're like, oh, like my back is just.
Yeah,
She's like, oh wow, I didn't realize that. You were so decrepit. well, she picks up the book and like totters down, and like kind of hefts it. She's like, okay, I've been training my whole life for this, and starts like walking. You guys can follow behind her as it stands, and she walks out. And again, at midpoint, she says, "Flipperty gibble," and all of you are able to walk through the hallway safely, and get to the other side. She opens it, and she like kind of pulls it open for all of you guys, and then closes it, and you hear like another click of like the lock. You could like catch like a little gesture from her hand, and she goes to hand it to you again, and then she's like, and she casts some sort of spell. She's like, okay, it should be fine for you to hold now.
Oh, great.
She hands it over to you.
Nervous.
All right, I want to talk to the guy and say, how's this gone so far?
Emil?
Yeah.
Emil?
He's like, well,
Amir?
this is further than we've ever gotten.
Okay,
Oh, good.
So I think we've found the magic formula to make this work.
all right.
But
I'm a little bit worried about these things here. I mean, you've
Right.
got herbs to make a golem, you've got a book to make a golem,
What is it?
you've got the hearthstone that's probably going to give the magical energy to the golem. It's probably going to be a source of energy, I would imagine.
I know, we're certainly
Is a
helping
golem
him.
It's like a walking animated inanimate object. So it can be made of all kinds of things, usually either elements, or it can be made of metal, it can be made of, anything. You make it of mud, just like a golem is anything that you
I
animate
don't
that
know why we're
shouldn't.
trusting him so much.
I don't know. I mean, Eileen said that he was all right, but
Yeah,
I'm
all
still
right,
worried that he's
and
getting
yeah.
used by somebody.
What do golems usually do?
Whatever their master tells them. Remember,
Who
I made a
wants to
bunch of
make
little ones.
golem?
Remember, I made a bunch of little gingerbread ones and sent them again. Oh, you weren't here for that one.
You did say something about
I
that
mentioned it
today,
today, though.
I
though.
did.
You said
Oh,
you
yeah.
got yourself in trouble with
I did.
gingerbread.
Yeah, I've made golems before. I mean, it was
Okay.
by accident. It was just, I was mad.
Right.
But
It didn't turn out
this
well.
seems a little bit more complex than the ones I made
Yeah.
of sugar. So I'm a little bit concerned. Like, what do you know about these people that want this from you?
I don't know. She's the person in a cloak in the woods. She had a basket with her. She looked like an old lady. She got angry at me because I picked some of her herbs. I mean, it wasn't like there was
That's
a
all I
garden
know.
nearby, and then she cursed me.
I don't know. I don't think that he's deceiving us. I think
But
he
the
might
people
be
that
being
want,
deceived.
he might.
Yeah. Right. And Emil, when you said you went to the professors, which ones did you go to?
I mean, I talked to Professor Dellis, and I talked to Professor Nilo, and I talked to Professor Trickfoot and Thalassen. Huh?
The chancellor?
No, I didn't talk to him.
I'm just feeling a
I
little.
mean, he kind of
out
scares
our
me a
league.
little bit, so.
Yeah.
You
I mean, we
know,
can
I'm
go
worried
and
that,
steal
like,
this, but
if he found out about this, he might kick me out of the school.
well, we might all get kicked out now because
Right.
we've deceived a lot of people.
Yeah,
We've
Yeah.
robbed things from people now.
we have contraband.
Contraband. Well, I don't know, guys. What do you think?
In over our heads. Or
I mean, I like a lot of mischief, but this is a little like sacred artifacts from the
Okay.
school.
Pretty
So-
Amir kind of, he sighs and he's like,
Well, we have gotten ourselves into a predicament.
Yeah.
I understand if you don't want to help me.
It's not that we don't want to help you.
We've
It's
come
that
this far.
I'm
Really,
a
and how do we
little
get this stuff back
bit-
anyway?
I know. We lift the curse, or we don't. But if we tell somebody, I wonder if they can be of better help. Well, I don't know. We've got Eileen with us. Maybe we can talk to her parents because she's now an accomplice.
And maybe they'll be a little
We didn't intend to make her an accomplice, and she was willing, but
Oh,
I
I
don't
like
know.
that
I'm an
idea.
accomplice to so many things, guys. Don't worry about it.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you
Hey,
think
Mom,
your
hey,
parents?
Dad.
Yeah, like we're 4/5 of the way to completing this, but I think we're all feeling a little nervous about the results of it because we're
I mean-
clearly helping somebody that's evil to
They won't
get
be
things
happy that
are
we took
dangerous.
these things,
but they probably try to help if they could. I mean, they won't help us take the things, but they'd probably
Right.
be able to at least figure out what's going on.
Right, because they'll probably have a better way of breaking this curse on this kid than we do.
Yeah, I mean, oh, they're probably in the library. And she leads you like up like a staircase and down a hallway and like knocks on like a door, like a dark wood door. And you hear Professor Adelis's voice say, "Oh, come on in." And you open it, and both Professors Pennyroyal are sitting there on in like kind of comfortable chairs. There's like a couch and another couple of like chairs and like ottomans to sit on. Looks like they're both like reading books separately, but like kind of just sitting next to each other. They have like a tray with like a pot of tea steaming and some cups. And Adelis kind of looks up and she smiles, just like, "Oh, are you back for the evening, dear?" And Eileen's like, "Well, and you see Adelis kind of like sigh a little bit, and she's like, "Are you in trouble again?" "Dear, you know you can't do this. You're a student here now." And she's like, "Look, it's not. They're gonna explain it to you because I don't really. I just went along because it sounded like fun." So, and she kind of like gestures for you guys to kind of talk about whatever you want.
Well, as you can see, we do have some things on our persons that we probably should not be in possession of. However,
Adelis nods and Eamon's like, "I could see that, yes."
However, we had the best of intentions. We wanted to help someone. We wanted to help this young boy here, who you may recognize as one of your second-year students. And,
Yeah, so Eamon nods. Both of them nod, really.
So as we were, I believe we were heading back to our dorms at one point, and Amir approached us in quite a state. He was quite upset and agitated, and saying that he really needed our help, and he had searched everywhere for help, and
He also had a lot of knowledge about us.
he had a lot of knowledge about us. But he really seemed to need our help, and wanting to be helpful, we decided that we would listen to his story and try to help him. He then proceeded to tell us that he needed these 5 things in order to prevent him further harm from somebody that had cursed him.
So anyway, we broke into your places like downstairs and then also into your office.
She kind of straightens up a little bit more.
and
The temple? You broke into the
yeah,
temple?
we did, and then we also got Professor Tripfoot to help us in the library. So we got a book, and that's when I started to be really worried because the book makes golems, and I have a little bit of experience with golems, and I just thought that maybe we were in over our head because we had one more item to get, but we decided that maybe we should get help instead. So we're coming to you for help, and we want you to help us.
She
break
nods
this
and she's
down.
kind of taking this all in. Like, it looks like she hasn't really gotten past the, you broke into my temple.
I'm trying to distract her from that.
Yeah, it's just like, Eamon like kind of stands up and he's like, well, they did tell us what was happening. She's like, I know, I'm just thinking about all the paperwork.
I start eating.
Nervous. Eileen starts also eating. She's like reaching into your pocket and like
I
taking
need a drink myself.
I know, right? I
And
know.
it's like, well, I think you did the right thing and not delivering these to whoever that person is. We can return all of these to where they belong. That's not too much of an issue, but this isn't something that you should make a habit of doing.
Oh,
Not only
no.
is it not a great idea to steal from powerful mages, but many of these places are very heavily warded. You're very lucky that nothing bad happened.
Yeah. We
know
are.
that.
We have learned our lesson.
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have.
Don't tell my wife, but I think you did a good job. And
That's all I need.
I may have you coming in to clean my laboratory a few times.
Okay.
But
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do
Okay,
that. We
we'll
don't
do
mind.
don't think we need to go all the way up to the chancellor for this.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you
so much.
so
So we're
much.
not-
That was like the best possible outcome.
I know. High five!